My 7th grade teacher, Miss Yakono, told me that teachers in many ways have the most important job, and that is forming kids into the person that they will be. This concept has stayed with me, but now, in the spring of my final year at Brooks, it is really starting to resonate. Over the past 4 years, teachers have been an instrumental part of getting me to this moment and preparing me for whatever lies ahead. Every teacher has influenced me in some way, but there are a few who have bent over backwards at times to support me and who have molded me to be the person I am today. The spring of my 8th grade year, I received a call from Miss Johnston about why I should choose Brooks. Little did she know I was choosing between Brooks and her alma mater, Tabor. I can't say that that single call made my decision, but it certainly helped. Knowing that there were people interested in me coming gave me a sense of security at the school I was thinking about attending in the fall. Miss Johnson was the first person to greet me on move-in day of my freshman year, and from that point forward, she became an important part of my time at Brooks. She was my dorm parent freshman year, and I got to know her very well through the many dorm runs. My roommate Caroline and I are convinced that she followed us to Gardner our sophomore year. During our time in Gardner, Caroline and I renamed Miss Johnson to Miss Dean. Before we knew it, students we barely even knew were calling her by that name. After sophomore year, the dean did not move to head east with us, but she still remained a very important part of my everyday life at Brooks. The dean has gone out of her way to take me out to coffee and catch up over the past 4 years. Her loyalty to me has been crucial to my success here. I can't tell you how meaningful it has been to have a teacher like Miss Johnson on my side. I'm so thankful to her for sticking with me all these years. Since my first self and community class, Miss Chaniel has cared so deeply about me. I felt her unconditional love almost immediately and felt that she was like family after a single conversation with her about whether I have a left or right brain. From her nights in her home during my sophomore year in Gardner to laughs at gospel choir with Brooke, Caroline, and Grace, I've always felt her positivity to be contagious. She taught me almost effortlessly to see the positive in a situation and to not be afraid to be who you are. I am known by many of my friends, and most definitely by my family, to be a horrendous singer. But Miss Chaniel, she made me feel truly confident about that awful voice I had and what I could do with it during those gospel choir practices. Miss Chaniel's love and encouragement has given me so much confidence, and for that, I am so thankful. My freshman spring, I was on JV lacrosse. My friends Jackie, Elena, and I were so excited for the season, for we already loved the head coach, Mrs. Graham. We had no idea, though, who the assistant, Mr. Jones, was. All we knew is that he coached boys basketball. I was immediately caught off guard the first practice I met Mr. Jones. He introduced himself as Wendy, a female lacrosse player who would be joining us this spring. He explained that Wendy would serve as a mentor for us both on and off the lacrosse field. As the spring continued, Jones made practices both funny and frustrating, constantly challenging us when we were all way too tired to be challenged, but also being a point of laughter and fun. After that spring, Jones not only remained a role model for me, but also a friendly face on campus. I've been lucky enough to have him as a dorm parent in Head East the past 2 years, and he has indeed been a constant point of laughter and fun in the dorm as well. Mr. Jones is the type of teacher that goes above and beyond to connect with students. He sits with a different group of students at every meal. One of my favorite memories of a meal at Brooks was when he sat with a few of my friends at lunch, and we played Bachelorette Heads Up for the whole period. Our dorm has also recently discovered that he is a master at what do you mean. Just knowing Jones has brought me so much happiness and laughter these 4 years. Last year, I was in Algebra 2 with Mr. Price. Early on, he identified my significant academic anxiety over math. After a few instances where I pressured him on when tests would be and what would be on them, he coined me with the nickname, the Devil. After that class, I wasn't sure why he had a nickname for me with such negative connotation. The next day in class, he explained the nickname. He showed a video of a devil imitation from Seinfeld that I reminded him of. So after this, whenever my anxiety kicked in and I started to get extremely stressed out about math, he would call me the devil and do the Seinfeld imitation. If you would like to see this imitation, you are welcome to ask him, but you could never catch me doing it. Literally, he would give me the devil ears when he saw me deliberating on a test. It broke through my anxiety every time. Algebra 2 ended up being one of my best classes last year. And while it may seem that I was being made fun of, the class was a very fun part of my day. This was all due to Mr. Price being so actively engaged with our class and committed to making me be the best math student I could be. I can't even start to thank Amat and Stacy for all they have given me. I didn't know either of them my freshman year, but met Amat my sophomore year. She was my geometry teacher, and I truly felt so bad for her. I struggled a lot, and our class struggled too. We were all very disruptive and distracting, but AMAT was somehow able to keep us in line. During the winter, I started to think that I wanted AMAT to be my advisor. While I still didn't know her that well, she had helped me so much in math and had made me feel so comfortable that I felt she could be a good person for me to go to for anything and everything. One day, I met with her at lunch to ask her to be my advisor. After we talked and AMAT said that she would love to be my advisor, she explained to me that she had thought I was meeting with her because the previous class she had told me that I needed to use a calculator for everything, including simple math like 8 divided by 2. After that conversation at lunch, AMAT became the advisor I needed to have to survive at Brooks. Almost instantly, I found myself walking into her classroom in tears from a chemistry test or angry about some social drama. She became a rock and someone I could rely on like a friend or a mom so easily. From being in AMAT's advisory, I got to know Stacy very well. I was always pretty intimidated by her, whether it was at lacrosse practice or on Main Street. However, after I made the field hockey team my junior year, I began to feel the same way that I felt with AMAT with Stacy. To have 2 people on campus that feel like a second home is so lucky, and I know that. The past 2 years, I have lived in the dorm with them and have been coached by them. They are literally an integral part of my everyday life. I don't think I go through the day without peering into their classrooms, asking to go to Starbucks, or banging on their door at night with some complaint that may or may not include tears or a trip to Mad Maggie's. I genuinely don't know how they take it. I've had countless nights where I've sat in their living room fighting off Piper with tears streaming down my face. They have to hear every rant, every argument, and so forth, and that is not easy or fun. My junior year, my friends and I used to watch TV shows in their house. And even though Stacy's head was exploding from all the Lucy and Caroline side conversations, they still let us come back. It breaks my heart to think that I won't have them next year, to always go to, no matter the crisis, no matter the time of day. They are so important to me, and I don't think I will ever be able to stop nagging them. I will miss AMAT calling me a nerd, and Stacy laughing at me for always being so bad at ladders. But what I do know is that the love and gratitude that they have given me consistently the past 3 years will prepare me way more for what's ahead than that chemistry test I failed. I'm so grateful for the 2 of you. There's so many other teachers to thank that I wish I could. Rooney, while you still make fun of me for all the weird and embarrassing things I did freshman year, you've been a consistent role model my 4 years, and I can't even begin to express how much I will miss you. Mr. McVeigh, a teacher who I haven't had until this semester, has somehow managed to say hi to me every time we pass on Main Street or in the school building since my freshman year. His kindness and friendliness is something that I will try to live up to my entire life. And to teachers like Miss Perkins and Mrs. H, who I just had this year but really wish I'd gotten to know earlier, who reminded me that the teachers at Brooks are truly special. There are so many amazing teachers on this campus that have so much to offer, and I encourage everyone to connect with teachers and take risks in getting to know a teacher because they can easily change and impact your experience in so many ways. With only a week or so left for me at Brooks, it feels very fitting to say thank you. Thank you to my friends, my family, and above all, my teachers. As I think back to what my 7th grade teacher said, I understand what she means now. The teachers I have had at Brooks have truly influenced me as a person, and the lessons I've learned from them and the relationships I have formed will stay with me forever. Thank you.